Give me life, give me life.
Hi, welcome back to Life Through Her Eyes. I'm your host, Debbie.
I'm Jackie.
Welcome back. We're so happy to have you. Today, we are excited to talk about our manifestation movement that is going on in the world right now. And we did the exact same thing at the same
We
time.
did.
That's some bestie energy right there from
Right.
different states. And without it being planned, we're just like, meh, because
Yep,
we're the
yep,
same person in different bodies. Anyways, I
yes.
love it.
And you're actually an hour in the future.
Oh,
So
that is true. So we're talking about the manifestation movement. This is really something very dear to me and Jackie in particular, because over the last few years of us getting closer and closer to each other and thinking about ways that we want to really take over our lives and really take charge and create a life that we really want for ourselves, because we kind of realized stumbling into our late 30s that we were like, wow, I'm not really where I thought I was going to be in life when I was a child or a teenager. So for me, I really got into affirmations and realizing that whenever I said something over and over again, that it like clicked something in my brain that allowed me to start noticing this thing more, and it just felt like the universe was just drawing things to me. And whenever I was doing that, of course those were positive things, but then years later, after really doing this and looking at my affirmations and listening to what I'm saying and paying close attention to myself, I realized like, wow, I've also manifested everything I didn't want in my life because of negative self-talk that I would have. Even things like, oh, I'm fat and I wonder why I don't lose weight. Like, I'm literally telling my body to stay fat and complaining about it, even if I do take action. I've had a lot of women, like countless women, tell me the same thing. Well, I just can't lose weight. I tried this diet and I exercise and I do all these things and it still just doesn't come off. And I'm like, well, do you talk nicely to your body? Like what else do you do? Because I mean, I really truly believe our body can hear us. It's listening. It's a living organism that's composed of trillions, if not more, different organisms that live on us and in us, in addition to all our organs and cells and organelles and all those things that go on. I really truly believe that it hears us. And I don't know. So for me, I've definitely noticed I've manifested things from vision boards that I've done, from affirmations I've made. Like, even one little thing, like, there were some years when my children were in their probably like adolescent age, right before teenage years, that it was kind of getting difficult to communicate with them. And I felt like I wasn't as close to them, or there was a little bit more disagreements happening between my three children. And I remember I put on one of my affirmations that my family is united in love and respect for one another, and that I will get to know all three of them and get to know who they are and basically love them for them. And it's been like 5 or 6 years since I first created it. And over the years, I go through, it kind of ebbs and flows, where I go through phases of my life where I'm like super locked in and I'm just wake up in the morning, I'm like affirmations and I just do my thing and I just feel pumped. And then there's times where it ebbs and I'm just like, I don't feel like saying anything. This sucks. Life's hard, and I'm just kind of in a funk. So I don't say them. But even in those times that I haven't, because all the times I was saying it, I look up and I'm like, oh my God, my family is united in love and respect for each other. I get compliments all of the time about how my children are so kind and respectful. And they're like, how did you get such great teenagers? 3 out of 3 are kind and respectful and loving. Even something little like my daughter telling my son one day that his breath stunk, but she wasn't saying it in like a mean way to make fun of him or make him feel bad about himself.
right.
It happened to be Valentine's Day. He was 15 years old. He's in high school. She's 16. She could smell his breath in the morning before we were about to drive to school. And she just casually was like, hey, did you remember to brush your teeth this morning? And he was like, no, I didn't. Thanks for reminding me. Like, why do you ask? And she was like, I can kind of smell your breath from here, And he was like, oh, thanks so much. That would be so embarrassing if I was in school
Right.
telling people happy Valentine's Day, getting up in their face, and they're like, Okay.
And how many of them wouldn't say anything and
Oh
just
yeah,
let
they
him go? Yeah. I'm not
absolutely
saying that
did.
none of them would have. Some of them might have, but the fact that his sister was like, I got you. You gotta, bat
But
in
a
the
lot of
cave or something. Like, let me know.
yeah. To know that they truly have each other's back and they care
Yeah.
about each other. I just things like that. I just feel like my affirmations manifested that love and respect because in my household as a kid, if your breath stunk, I'm like, ooh, your breath stank. Ooh, get out my face with your stanky breath. Like, I would have been really rude about it. Like, I would have been excited that their breath stunk. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would have been this thing that I had to, like, get on my brother and just be like, hey, screw you. That's why your breath stank and nobody want to kiss you. You know? Like, I would have found some way to, like, shove it in his face and I wouldn't have warned him. I would have just, like said something on the way to school instead where he couldn't brush his teeth or
Yeah,
whatever,
you
you
couldn't do
know?
anything about it. Be like, your breast stink anyway, and
That's
then
why
like
your
walk
breath
out.
stink. Yeah. Don't get no girl's face today because you gonna, turn all of them off or whatever. So it just made me feel really good that an affirmation that I had said on and off over the last 6 years has manifested. And I get compliments, and that feels so good to just see my kids love and respect each other and that it's not about their love language isn't putting each other down and bullying each other. And we came from a generation, and our parents definitely came from a generation that they were just would say anything. There was like kind of like me with not having much of a filter, but like they would just say anything and everything. So I'm really grateful for manifestation. For you, Jackie, what have you noticed in your life that you have manifested, good or bad?
Yeah, definitely both. I can see a lot of areas where I was speaking really good things into existence, even no matter maybe if I wasn't seeing it come to fruition immediately. You got to still keep in that positive frame of mind and just keep
Right.
putting that good energy out there and know that it's going to come back, it's going to turn around. Things have a way of evening themselves out because that's just the law of nature. It's gonna come into a balance. I think for me that's the biggest thing, and always keep that mind frame. I feel for me the manifestation is mostly that mindset. When I'm making those manifestations, I'm going to be looking at every situation with that positive outlook as opposed to this like, man, I can never make any money. Well, that's all I'm going to see. That's all I'm going to see is all the times I'm not making money. But if I'm like, you know what, I make really good money and look at where I live and look at what I'm able to do for the hours I'm able to work, I make good money. And then I
Yeah.
start seeing all the opportunities where like I actually am doing better than I think. And where I need to really focus is my own discipline. So it's like that
Yes.
manifestation helps you like guide your focus to the places that you can have control over. You can't control these other things, right? Like
Right.
for example's sake, I'm in a tip-based position. So my livelihood is dependent on whether people are gonna, tip me or not. And
Girl
I
there.
just gotta be there. I gotta be there. So
Yeah.
it's one of those that when we take vacations, I gotta work even harder, so I can
Yeah,
make sure
because
we're
we're not
gone.
getting paid for when we're gone. It's not like
Yep.
we're getting some big fat check paid for sick pay or anything like that. Both of our jobs,
Yep.
even me as a
Yep.
massage therapist, even being an employee, getting benefits, all that stuff. My paid time off that I get is $10 an hour. Like, what is that going to really do for me if I'm even gone for 30? I mean, that's $300 check before taxes.
Mhm.
Like, that would be nothing, even if I took 30 hours off and got paid for it.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's better than nothing, but it really sucks because I'm like, yo, that doesn't compensate me for missing out
For
on
it,
work. Like, that's
what
like
you
way
could
less
actually
than what.
work.
Right. But
Yeah.
again, that's we chose our own careers. People could
Yes.
easily be like, you
Yes.
chose what it is, so deal
We
with
did,
it
and
or
we did,
don't deal with
and
it and do something
and
different.
there's perks to what me and you do right now.
Yeah.
Granted, like I feel like there's still so much forward momentum that we have because of all the things that we've talked about building, and that's another thing, right? Into the manifestation. Like I feel
Right.
like when me and you have those conversations about our business, we are speaking it more and more into existence. But again,
Right.
what are we aligning that with? action.
Because this isn't
So
just like
important.
some magic. It's not gonna
Mhm.
just, you think of it and you're like, I'm thinking positive vibes and everything great's gonna happen for me. No, the law of sowing and reaping, like you have to actually do something. You don't just go, hey, I wanna have an apple tree in my backyard, but then you don't plant an apple tree,
Yeah.
or even an apple seed to eventually
Mhm.
grow into a tree.
Yeah.
There needs to be actions with said thoughts and intentions.
Mhm.
And then also understanding that, you have to prepare for potentially different outcomes than what your brain is creating too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and that's part of the whole things that we can control and things that we can't.
Right.
And but having that good mindset with it, is what's going to be the key there, and what
Right.
your takeaway is going to be. If you're always looking at everything, I hear it and I see it a lot in what I do. People just see like the losses and they're like, oh, all I see is the bad hands, the bad hands. Well,
Girl. Yeah.
if you're out there playing in a casino and you're like, I never win, then what are you going to do? All you're going to see is all the times you lose. I've seen it a couple times in my life for sure. I've also seen the bad times, like we were talking about earlier. I've been in those moments where I'm just like, I can't make the money. I'm drowning in bills. And what did I do? I wasn't making the money and I was drowning in bills. Until I started saying, I actually do well and I can do these things. And I sat down and I did the numbers and I figured that stuff out.
Yeah. No, that's so good. That's so
And
true.
and not everything has fallen into place like I had hoped it would. Not
Yeah.
that it's always been a bad thing, though. There's been some other areas where it didn't go like I thought it was going to go, and it was better. So that was
Yeah,
cool.
exactly. But it's as long as it's moving in that direction, that's what
Mhm.
matters. Because I think a lot of us in life, we sit there and we go, God, life is not where I expected it or wanted it to be, or this sucks or that sucks. But I'm like, do you have like a 3-month plan, a 6-month plan to do anything? Do you even expect anything out of life? Think about that. Like for me, I have this expectation that every year I will be better. I'm going to grow in something and my income is going to increase, whether it's by $1,000 a year, 10,000, 100,000, whatever it is. I do not ever want to see my income being stagnant or
Yeah.
myself being stagnant, because I just feel like I should be growing all the time. Like I should
Mhm.
be learning and growing. And I just feel like life is not really serving you if you're not learning how to grow and evolve and change with it, because life is going to change. And anybody that
Mhm.
I see that hates change or is always trying to resist change, I'm just like, oh,
You're
you
gonna have
are
that.
afraid of growth. You have the inability to grow. So
Mhm.
therefore, you just are stagnant. And that sucks to see people who stagnate in life. I kind of feel like that's what happens with people who retire and then don't donate their time to any type of volunteer work or anything where they still
Mhm.
interact with people, right? And they become like grumpy because they're not a part of the community anymore. They're not really doing or adding anything. So, like, that's sad. And I would rather keep doing things so I can keep manifesting and growing so I don't feel like I'm getting stagnant and not seeing what life has to bring today. I feel you can learn something every single day, and why not set goals and find out what you're really made of? Because think about it, in school, through at least our primary 13 years of school, we are always constantly being challenged, right? We have
Yeah.
we get new
Mhm.
concepts given to us every single day, and we build and we grow on them, and we evolve and we become this adult, hopefully, that we want to be, or at least set us up for a future that we want. But then a lot of us get lazy and we're like, okay, that was enough learning. That was enough growth and change. Like that was enough challenges. Life is challenging enough. Like, why do I need to keep like learning and growing, And then those are the ones again who tend to be like the most frustrated with life because they don't realize that life gives you what you put into it. So if you put nothing into it, expect nothing. If you put good intentions, expect good things to happen. If you put bad intentions, expect for bad things to happen. But I personally am grateful for being at the age that I am and being aware, having the understanding of manifestation and realizing that we get to have some control in our life. We can't control everything. Some things we do have. I think that's okay too, but whatever I can do, I want to try. Just like I said in a previous episode, or I've said to you before, like I want to look at problems as mathematical problems where they're solvable. They're a solvable equation and I can do something about it. I don't want to feel like I can't. And some things I can't do anything about. Like if someone dies that I love, I can't bring them back from the dead. And that's going to suck. But I can find ways to honor their memory and who they are, or keep them close to me, or learn from their mistakes or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. And being somebody that's there for others that love them too. You share that commonality just in that alone, whether you're family or not. You
Right.
both lost that person who was who they were to you and to them. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. And all of those things help you, I think, rationalize and internalize or emotionally wrap your head around just all the things that come with this human experience. And
Right.
being able to go through it and maintaining your peace, right? Maintaining a homeostasis, should I probably
Yes.
put it in that
Yeah,
way?
yeah,
A good,
absolutely.
healthy balance. Too much order, you're gonna seek chaos. Too much chaos, you're
Oh
gonna seek order. It's
yeah,
gotta be
absolutely.
that perfect balance, and a knowing that there's just, it doesn't matter if all you're like over there, I put out all this good stuff and bad things still happen to me. Well, yes, because that's life.
Yeah.
And guess what, those hard times are the best times to grow. I think that's what we tend to
Yes.
forget a lot of times, because those are opportunities. And what does that boil down to? Your mindset. I mean, it really just,
Totally
all
true.
I can boil it down to, when I look at a lot of issues I've had going through life and my journey, just I can boil a lot of it down to, like, what was my mindset?
Yeah.
What was that issue at that time? Had I, approached it with a better one, or a
Yeah.
different one, or more healed one, or just,
Yeah.
there's, it's a lot. And I think being able to have that manifestation is a really good tool to use for that, for sure.
Yeah.
And no wonder there's a movement behind it, and a lot of
Yeah.
people are starting to latch onto it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, affirmations for manifestation specifically, because
Mhm.
audibly saying something, writing something down, reading it, those three
Yeah.
things like do something to your brain as well and creates connections that make your brain subconsciously go, oh, that's what we need to work towards now, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why, sadly, we unconsciously create the things that we don't want to, because if we're always like, oh, I'm always broke. Okay, stay broke. Find ways to keep spending money and not budgeting, Find ways, even with what we're doing right now and learning to manifest. A lot of self reflection recently for me, I've come to realize, like, oh, am I even of $10 million a year right now? Would I be a good steward of that right now with the X amount of money I make now? Am I being a good steward, or do I keep making the excuse of, well, I just don't have enough money? Well, that's interesting, because there are some people who make half of what I make and they're figuring it out. Maybe their life doesn't have all the things that mine has, but they're still alive and well and they're doing it.
Yeah.
So you just, like, kind of, even in the book, the I Will Teach You to Be Rich that you and I are reading right now, just realizing, like, a rich life does not mean that you're a millionaire or billionaire. A rich life just means that you have in it the things that make you happy.
Yep.
So basically, just spending your money more extravagantly on things that you absolutely love and make you happy, versus just spending your money on things that don't really bring you happiness. And
Yep.
going, okay, my money has the power to either do things that make me happy or do things that just appease me for a couple of minutes to 30 minutes or whatever, like a Starbucks coffee versus a trip to Uzbekistan.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
right.
Or
Like, you
like
know,
cigarettes. Gave that
yeah,
up. What makes me happy, and what I really should have done, which I know I have done, essentially I am putting that finances that you spend on it, right, into other areas that I feel like I'm investing into future, right? Like
right,
coursework and stuff like that. Now I
right.
have money to spend on those kind of things.
Yeah,
And
that's so true. That's so
so
true.
it's, I mean, I canceled a Paramount Plus subscription and got Babbel instead. Just remembering like what is important, what should you focus on, what's better for you, what kind of rich life do you want to live, like what does yours look like, and it can look
Right.
like that. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's so good. And proud of you
Mm.
for changing those subscriptions. That's really good.
Yeah.
Again, I want to manifest the being bilingual. I really, really,
Exactly.
really
Mhm.
want to at least speak. Well, I want to be multilingual, but at
Yep.
first you have to start with a second language, right? That's the way to go. I already got a
Yep.
first down, thank God. So now I could get Spanish
Sometimes.
down. Right. And even with the manifestation with that, I have to every day, even if it's for 3, 5, 10 minutes or whatever, I need to do Duolingo. And I challenge myself to practice some Spanish just so that I am at least keeping it in the back of my mind. It might
Yeah.
not be in the forefront. I'm not living in a Spanish speaking country yet and practicing on a daily
Sure.
basis, but that's where I'm trying to get to. I really, really, really
Absolutely.
would love to here in the near future go live in Costa Rica for a year or two
Yep.
and really speak Spanish and get to
Yes.
understand this language, but I want to have some sort of foundation when I go there. And I know it's going to be
Exactly.
wrong because, girl, I be listening to some of this Duolingo stuff and I'm like, this sentence makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, but I guess I'll learn it. Like,
Right.
when
I
will
know
I
it's
ever
so.
say this? I will never use the sentence ever in my life,
Mhm.
but at least I know the words and how to put a sentence together. So
Yeah.
better than nada.
Well, and there you go. There you go. Yeah, and just like you said too, though, you want to be multilingual, and you know you're not just going to wake up tomorrow and boom, speak more than one language. You know,
Yeah.
it takes work, it takes dedication, and where does that start? Today,
Yep,
just doing what
today.
you can do right now. And
Yeah.
I think that's another thing for manifestations that is important to me too, being realistic as
Mhm.
well, in knowing like I can control this on a day by day thing. I don't have to look at it as like 5 years down the road, but there are things I need to look at 5 years down the road.
To
And
be
being
able to
realistic in
get to that thing
that.
in 5 years, I
Exactly.
have to break this 5 year plan up,
Exactly.
you know, and so I could take actions
Mhm.
every few months, years, days, or whatever to get to said 5 year goal. So that's just not
Exactly.
something in my head and it never manifests because I never did the thing that I needed to do to
Exactly.
be able to achieve it. So, yeah, again, manifestation is not wishful thinking, it is thought put with action.
Mindset.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Exactly. And
that
being open
res-
to it not happening the way you want
resiliency.
it to.
Yep. Exactly.
Like there's so many times that with specifically expectations, like the moment you make one, you basically should expect to be let down. Like the moment you're like,
Yep.
I expect
Yep.
that I'm gonna go on this trip and we're gonna be like this and the pictures are gonna look like that and it's gonna be awesome and you get there and you're like, our
No.
plane was delayed by 3 hours. Now that first excursion that we have, we can no longer go on. You
Nope.
know, or then you get there
Oh.
and you forget to plan a taxi and now you don't get the taxi ride back home because
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
didn't follow directions. We weren't listening because we were so excited about just getting to Cancun.
Yes.
We weren't paying attention to what they said, you know? So, lessons learned, you know?
Lessons learned.
But
Yeah.
at least we're learning them and not going to go do that again and be like, oh, let's throw another $50 at something that was already free, you know?
Exactly. I know. Yeah. Never
It's all
again.
good. It's all good. But yeah, I love it. I'm excited. I feel empowered to feel like the bad stuff with more good stuff and my body's
Right.
slowly changing and my goal is to be fit by 40s and I've been getting compliments by people and other people are like, girl, you look good, but in my mind I'm like, I still have a pooch, you know. I want to get rid of the extra belly fat,
I get
you
it. I
know,
get it. I
breast
get it.
lift or whatever, you know. Like I don't know, but also with
The
that, like
society's
just
hard on us. I know. I know. We're hard on ourselves.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And we're hard on ourselves too, not even just society. Like we're the ones who are the ones believing that we have to go with society. We could be like, I don't give a shit and go without makeup somewhere.
Yeah.
Or, you know, go without a bra somewhere. That's me. You go out with bras without bras
Yeah.
everywhere. But
Everywhere.
everywhere.
Right now.
Like what's a bra? Like what is a bra? I mean, I'm going without
I
one now too,
hate
but that's why
them.
it's way down here.
They're a symbol of the patriarchy.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, no, I can't stand.
I'm grateful that we are able to even be women in this day and age and have the ability to manifest the things that we want. I just had a client today that I was massaging, and she's from Uzbekistan. That's why I brought that up earlier. That wasn't just random. I just brought it up because she invited me to come out and visit her and her family sometime whenever I am in that part of the world. And we just had this incredible conversation for an hour and a half during the massage about her life and what it's like there in like a predominantly Muslim country, that you have arranged marriages and you literally don't marry for love. You just marry because they want the gene pool to look really nice and keep it in the region essentially so that they can keep pure blood. I wasn't offended when she said it. I was like, okay, I get it. And she was telling me like, she's out here for a Shakira concert, and that is literally her even being in America right now and being at this concert is almost in her society like an impossibility. And so the fact that she manifested this is really incredible. I think she was telling me about how she's married, she has 5 children, and how in their traditions there, you it's usually the youngest boy, but usually the boy will youngest boy will move in with his family when he gets married, and then his wife moves in too, and the families live together, which I'm like, cool, fine, not a big deal. But then she was like, oh, but like I have to listen to what the parents tell me to do, so if I want to like go do something, I have to get permission. And I'm like, how old are you? And she's like 36. And I was like, you've been married for 20 years. You have 5 children with this man, and you couldn't come to America without getting their parents' permission? And she was like, well, no, I couldn't, but I got into argument with my mother-in-law over it, you know, and I pretty much shocked her. I'm not going to say what she said, you know, but just thinking like women in other parts of the world still are essentially property to men. And to their family as well, not just to men, like to just they're born into being property and just do whatever they're told. And to realize like we have this amazing privilege of creating the life that we want, manifesting what we whatever we want, and we don't have to get our mom and dad's permission or our husband's permission or society's permission to do the things that we want to do and to manifest it. And this woman has created a financial literacy course that she's teaching women how to get passive income and to create a bigger, larger economy for her fellow citizens. And she has 4 daughters, so she's also paving the way for her daughters to have some level of independence, financial independence, because you don't really have jobs. You just do whatever your in-laws tell you to do and what your husband tells you to do, and you mother your children, but you normally don't have like businesses. So her to be able to do these things, meet the president, have the children's schools get this financial literacy program put into their education systems. I'm like, you are such a badass. I am so proud of you because she's just like, my dream is to make my country better and for my name to like be in history books or whatever. And I'm like, I think that you're already on the way there. I mean, you've met the president, you've put curriculum into schools, and you're still fighting for women to be able to learn how to be, you know, financially literate, which is very powerful, especially in a society that is very Muslim and very against divorce and women cheating or doing anything, while men can do whatever they want to essentially, as long as they don't bring it home and go back to their wives, they are a-okay. And so it just really got me kind of excited about the fact I have so many freedoms and privileges that I was kind of just taking for granted until I realized like this woman fought with her in-laws just to get a chance to come to Shakira concert in America. And she's the first person in her family, not only to just be able to come to America, but to be able to afford a trip to America and the Shakira concert ticket, and then all of the other things and the 300 some dollar massage she just got from me. Like, come on, like that's incredible, you know? Like I'm so happy for her.
Phenomenally incredible. Yes.
Right. And it makes me happy. And I'm just
You
like,
know.
again, with manifestation, this woman had an idea. She put action behind it, and she has
Yeah.
been manifesting more money. She was like, I have 3 streams of passive income. I'm teaching other women how to do this. I just think it's incredible. It's just really
Yeah.
incredible what we can do when we really put our minds to it. And also, I think one of the key components that I totally forgot, I'm so happy I remember right now. In manifestation, you have to believe you're worthy of whatever you're asking for. You
Yeah.
can't be like, I'm worthy of $1 billion. And then you like literally in your mind think that you're worth 20,000 a year, and you treat yourself and your body and your mind like you're worth 20,000 a year,
Yeah.
but you're saying you're worth $1 billion. Like, that's ridiculous. You don't even value yourself that way.
Yeah.
And if you did, you would treat your body differently. You would treat your mind differently. You would treat
Mhm.
your home and your car and all these things differently if you really viewed yourself as a billionaire.
Yeah.
So you have to believe you're worthy. And that's
Yeah.
hard, especially for us being in a society where they
Yeah.
essentially tell you all the time you're unworthy,
Mhm.
especially this is life through her eyes, right? As a
Yeah.
woman, we are oftentimes told that we are not worthy, or we're less than, or we can't be as smart, or we're just emotional or whatever. And we have to fight past a lot of those thoughts and comments and beliefs, and fight even harder to manifest the things that we want in life. But whenever we do, girl, it is so worth it. And I am so
Yes.
happy. My career that I'm in, I manifested because I've known for over 20 years, even before I started massage, that I was supposed to be a massage therapist, but I didn't do the things. And then finally, I signed up for school one day. I had my now ex-boyfriend kept nagging me, and he was like, you just need to go up to the school and just talk to the counselor, get an application. And one day I just decided, like, no, it's time for me to do it. And he, of course, in his mind took all the credit, but he's a narcissist, so that's another thing. I literally could not have done this on my own. I've not wanted to do this like 20 years before I ever met you, but okay, cool. He was like, yeah, but you did it because I told you to. And I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure it's because I drove my ass up there and walked into that door and did it, but whatever. I'm hoping that all of you all also get into this manifestation movement and realize that you have so much more power than you know. Even if you're having trouble like with mental stuff, find a therapist to help you. If you're not feeling good in your gut, talk to a gastroenterologist, or which is a gut specialist. Talk to your doctor. Find out ways, Google things online, ask ChatGPT, talk to it about what's been going on in your life, and see if you can get some little things. I know it's not a professional, but there are ways that you can start moving towards getting the life and having the things that you want. I really, really, truly hope that you all are able to do that and also share with us. I would love to hear the things that you've been able to manifest in your lives as well.
Manifestation journeys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, good or bad, whatever you want to share with us. I mean, I think it's really encouraging to other people to hear that and to realize, like, oh, wow, I am powerful. I do manifest the things in my life. Yeah.
Yes, please do. Please share. We welcome it. We thank you for joining us talking about this manifestation movement, something that, again, is really important to me and you too, Deborah. So, yeah, we thank you, and we look forward to it next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
See you next week.
Bye.